Okay, in class we covered page 5, multiplying whole numbers, and page 9, place value through billions. Okay. Now one of the reasons I put these two things together is because I think place value is really important when it comes to adding, subtracting, and even multiplying numbers. And when we're multiplying numbers, a lot of students get confused about where the answers go when you're multiplying multiple digit numbers together. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is why your place value is important with that. Okay, your place value is essentially important with your bottom number. Okay, not the top number, but the bottom number. Okay, that's what we're focusing on. And the place value is going to be important in the place value or in the placement of your digits when you're putting your answers down. Okay. So when we're multiplying 56, right, by 3,218, we are essentially multiplying 3,218 by 6 and 3,218 by 50, and then we're adding them together because 6 plus 50 is 56. Okay? All right. So when we're working with this problem here, when we first multiply 8 times 6, we're going to get 40. Okay? So we're going to put our 0 from our 40 in the ones place because, again, we started with our 6, which is in the ones place. So this is where our answer is beginning, in the ones place. Okay? Then we're going to put our 4, or our 4 groups of 10, up above our next digit. Okay? Then we have 6 times 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So again, we're going to put our 0 in our next column, okay? And we're going to add our plus 1, okay, above our hundreds number. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. We're going to place our 3 in the next column, and we're going to put our 1 up above our 3 in our thousands column. Okay? 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So we're going to put our final answer down there. Okay, now I'm going to switch colors when we do our next digit, which is a 5. But again, like I said, this 5 actually represents 50. Okay? And that's what you're going to want to remember when you're doing your multiplication, because you're going to want to know where to place your answer when you begin. So you have a choice. See, right now, because we're doing 50, there's actually a 0 here. There's nothing here, right? So there should be nothing here. Okay, so you have a choice. Since we have nothing in the ones, you can place a 0 here, or you can leave it blank. Okay? Now we're going to start multiplying. 5 times 8 is 40. Okay? And we're going to put our plus 4 up above our tens digit. Why? Because we first multiplied the ones digit in the 8. Now we're working on tens. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. Okay? We're going to put that answer here, okay, because we're working to the left. Okay, so 5 plus 4 is 9. Then we're going to move on to our next digit. 5 times 2 is 10. This is from our last, from working with the 6, so we don't worry about that. So 5 times 2 is 10. We're going to put our 0 in our next place, and we're going to put our plus 1 up here, right? Then we're going to multiply 5 times 3, get 15, and add our 1 and get 16. Okay, now we're ready to finish answering our problem here. Okay, so we're going to add these together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 3 plus 9 is 12. So we're going to put our 2 there and our plus 1 up here. 9 plus 1 is 10. We'll put our 0 here and our plus 1 up here. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. And then we have a 1 here. So our answer is 180,200. Okay, so if we go back, we can see that our answer, or how this works, by looking at the numbers separated. If we were to multiply these two separately and then add them together, it would be the same thing. If we multiply 8 times 6, we get 40. We put our plus 4. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. We put our plus 1 up there. 6 times 2 plus 1 is 13. We put our plus 1 up here. 6 times 8 is 8, or 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Okay? Then if we go down here to the other number, to our 50, again, we know 0 times anything is 0, right? So we just need to hold this place, okay? Which is exactly what we did over here. All we did was hold this place. So then we multiplied 5 times 8 and got 40. Put our plus 4 up here. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. 5 times 2 is 10. Put our plus 1 up here. And 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Okay, now I have 19,300, and I have 160,900, which is exactly what I have over here. 19,300, 160,900. Same thing, okay? And then all we did up here was add them together, which is exactly what we would do if we had separated this. Now we would just add our 19,300 to this, and we would get 0, 0. 9 plus 3 is 12. Put our plus 1 up here. 9 plus 1 is 10. Put our plus 1 up here. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And bring our 1 down. So we got exactly the same answer, right? Doing it both ways, okay? So hopefully this will help you understand why you place digits where you do when you're multiplying. All right, so to get a better understanding, we're going to go on to numbers that have three digits being multiplied. Okay, so in our first case, we have 848 times 223. Okay, if we multiply 3 in the ones column, okay, by 8, we're going to get 24. We're going to put our plus 2 up here, okay? Then we're going to multiply our 3 times our 4 and get 12, and add our 2 and get 14, okay? We'll put our plus 1 up here. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Okay, now that was our 3, okay, and it was in the ones column. Now we're going to move on to our first 2 because we're moving left. So we're going to move on to this 2 right here, okay? So if we multiply 2, again, essentially there's nothing in this column right now. Nothing is 0, right? So you have a choice. You can either put a 0 in the ones column because there's nothing there, or you can just leave it blank, and when you put your first answer down, you have to remember to put it in your tens column, okay? So 2 times 8 is 16. We'll put our 6 here. Then we'll go up here and put our plus 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Again, we'll put it, we're moving to the left, so it goes in our next place. 2 times 8 is 16. This is from our last number. 2 times 8 is 16. We have nothing to add to it, so we're going to put our answer there. Okay? Now we're going to move on to our next 2, which is in our hundreds column. Now, we have nothing this time for tens and nothing this time for ones. So again, you have a choice. If you have a 0 here, you can put a 0 here, and you can put a 0 here, okay? Because we're working with this number, and we want to put our first answer in our hundreds column, okay? Again, if you want to leave these 2 blank, that's fine. Or you can put a dash there to hold the place. It might be very helpful to put something there to hold the place for you. The reason? Because when you add your columns later, if your work is sloppy or it got moved over a little, you might be in the wrong column. You might have numbers in the wrong column and be adding the wrong numbers in a column, okay? All right, so again, 0 here, 0 here, or leave them blank if that's what you prefer. 2 times 8 is 16. We put our first part of our answer below or in our hundreds column. Then we're going to add our plus 1. Then we have 2 times 4, and we get 8. Plus 1 is 9. Then we multiply our 2 times 8 again, and we did not have any carryover, so it's just 2 times 8, and we get 16. Okay? And then we're going to add. And see, my columns are all nice and aligned. I put them in the right places because I put zeros in. So 4 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. We're going to carry our 1 up here. So now we have 6 plus 9 is 15, plus 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. Okay? 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17, plus another 2 is 19. Then we're going to put our plus 1 up there. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And then we have nothing to carry over here, so we just bring down our 1, and then we're going to put our comma in. So our answer is 189,104. Does that make sense? Okay. The other thing that we worked on is we worked on multiplying numbers by tens, hundreds, thousands. So essentially numbers with a 0. Okay? What you need to know about multiplying with zeros is what we talked about actually up here, because we were talking about, 0 times anything is nothing, right? So it's 0. So when you multiply any number by a multiple of 10, so 10, 100, 1,000, or you could even be talking about 2,000s, 3,000s, whatever. But if you have multiple zeros in a number, the only thing you have to do is annex or add a 0, okay, to the number. Because if I was to work out this problem, as I said before, if we multiply this by 0, 0 times 3 is 0, 0 times 4 is 0, 0 times 6 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0. Okay, so I got 0 up there. Okay, and then when I want to multiply by my 1, I want my answer to start here, correct? Again, nothing in this column, okay? So I'm going to, sorry, we'll do a different color. It'll help. Okay, so I'm going to multiply 1 times 3 and get 3, 1 times 4 and get 4, 1 times 6 and get 6, and 1 times 5 and get 5. Okay? Then, when I add this all together, I get 54,430. Okay? Now, if you look at that number, what do these two numbers have in common? Okay? All the digits are the same, except for what? Except for this one. There's a 0 added. Okay? So, let's take a guess. Do you think that the answer to this problem would be, let's say, let's put it right here, 2, 6, 4, 1, okay? And then let's just add these two zeros here, okay? All right, so we're going to guess that that's our answer. And now we're going to work the problem. Again, when I come down here, I'm going to go 0 times 1 is 0, 0 times 4 is 0, 0 times 6 is 0, 0 times 2 is 0, okay? Then I'm going to go 0 times 1. Again, this is, let's make that our empty spot. We're working in the tens column. 0 times 1 is 0, 0 times 4 is 0, 0 times 6 is 0, 0 times 2 is 0, okay? Now, we're working on the hundreds column. So what are we going to do? We are going to put a 0 in this space and this space because we're working with hundreds. We want to start our answer in the hundreds column. Okay, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. How did I get a 4 there? I don't know. What did I do? Okay, Mrs. Downs screwed up. Sorry, that's supposed to be a 0. Because when we multiply 0 times, this was 0 times 1 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. Oops, 0 times 1 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. 0 times 6 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. So sorry. I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote that. You guys were all probably looking at me funny. What was she doing? I'm crazy. Okay. Anyway, when we add this all together, the zeros, that's a 0. This is a 0. There's a 1 here. There's a 4 here. There's a 6 here. And there's a 2 here. We're going to put our comma in. And does this answer equal this answer? Why, yes, it does. So our guess was correct. So now we can assume with this number right here that our answer is going to have 3 zeros at the end. 1, 2, 3. And then we're just going to take this number and put it in front of that. So we have 2, 5, 9, and 4, right? Now we're going to put our commas in. Okay, so our answer is 4,952,000, and that's our answer. Okay, so the other thing that we covered today was place value. Essentially, most students, the thing that most students struggle with place value is when you have numbers that have zeros in them, okay? So essentially, you just want to know how to write numbers into the billions that that have zeros in them, because a lot of students struggle with putting zeros or where zeros belong in numbers. Okay, so for example, if I said the number, okay, 2 billion 1,796,115, that might be difficult for you to write. Okay? Okay. The first digit I said was 2 billion. Okay? So we know 2 billion, and we know that that's a single digit. It's not a 10, it's not 100, so it's a 2. So we know that there's going to be a comma after that. Okay? But then you have 1 million. So do we have anything in the 100 millions? No. Do we have anything in the 10 millions? No. Do we have anything in the millions? Why, yes, we have one, because I said 2 billion, 1 million, right? Okay, so now the next area we're working on is our 100,000s. Okay, so the number was 2 billion, 1,796,000. So we have 700, we have a tens, 90, and we have 6. Those are all in the 100,000s. We're going to put our next comma in. And then the last part of the number is what? 2 billion, 1,796,115. Okay? So the key here is to remember to place zeros where they belong. Okay? Let's look at another number. It's easier. Let's look at 90,500. Okay? With the number 90,500, we're starting in the tens of thousands, okay? And we have a 9. Okay, we have 90,000. Do we have any thousands? No. We have 90 thousands. Okay, so we're going to put a comma there. And so the number is 90,500. So we have a 5, and then we have 2 zeros, right? What if our number was 5,023? Okay. Again, we're starting with 5 in our thousands. Okay. And then we have 23, 5,023. So is there anything in the hundreds column? Nope. And then we have 23. Okay. So anyway, just remember to place zeros in the place value where we don't have any digits. Okay?